What in the nobody asked for this is going on right now?
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about something super important. What it means to be transgender.
She's at it again, everybody. Lily Tino is the name on TikTok, if you're not aware. I personally call this person Pennywise because that hairline is giving straight up Pennywise. Also known as Buffalo Grills to some of you, because for a while they were showing up at restaurants trying to get servers in trouble because servers were misgendering them.
Sure. I was called sir. The person who gave me this called me sir. He called me sir twice in a row.
Which, if you ask me, the servers had all hit it right on the head. It's not anybody else's fault if you identify as something other than what we all see you to be. Then there was a spot in between where there was a cake pop situation where she was at Disneyland or Disney World.
I'm gonna get banned from Disney. I swear, we're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel.
And then most recently, there was this one where she was doing a parody of Miss Rachel. And to be honest, I had never heard of Miss Rachel before. I just saw this video because it came up on my feed, and a couple of the comments said Miss Rachel should sue, and I was like, who is Miss Rachel? I mean, my mom's Rachel, and my friends used to call her Miss Rachel, but I know they're not talking about my mother. My mother has never dressed in a ridiculous getup like that, and my mother certainly isn't trying to educate children on anything. So then I did research and I found out who Miss Rachel was.
Hi! Hello! This is waving. Can you wave? Hi!
And when I found out who Miss Rachel was, then it bothered me even more. She is meant for kids, like babies. She didn't even appear to be meant for anything over kindergarten. And I think we all should be able to agree. Well, no, we can't, because there is the crazy faction of the LGBT that thinks people decide what it is they are at 4 years old.
Okay. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns.
But I think if you ask any person that hasn't lost their sanity, they would tell you children younger than kindergarten have no need to understand transgender. So when we as a community are getting hit harder than ever during this Pride season, happy Pride everybody. Apparently this is the way we celebrate. But when we as a community are getting hit with the LGBT are trying to groom children right now, which, let me let you in on a secret, most of us don't want anything to do with your children. I'll tell you about me. I've got nephews and nieces. I'm glad that except for one of them, they're all over the age of 18 because finally I can see my sisters again. I say that only half joking, but everybody knows the way that I speak isn't always going to be appropriate for children. I talk about adult things because I am an adult and I have no children. So since I know that about myself, I, for the most part, stay away from children. I can do Christmas, I can do Easter, I can watch my language for a couple of hours. Outside of that, I want to speak like a grown-up. I have no interest in educating your children on anything. That is your job. And when I do have a child, one child, when I have that child, I don't want anybody else educating my child on LGBT. I will handle that when it's time. I don't need you telling them things that aren't true or things that I don't know to be the experience from LGBT. I've got all the LGBT my kid needs right here. And I feel like a lot of parents feel that exact same way. Anything you need to learn in these young years, you can learn right here. You become 18, that's all you, boo. Live your life. Go learn it where you learn it, figure it out where you figure it out. But as long as you're a baby in this house, nobody's gonna be teaching you about some stuff you don't need to know about. Now let's get to this video. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Before we go any further, I'm just going to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to comment just to help me on the algorithm, but you don't know what to comment, just leave a knife. Because this crazy-looking person themselves might actually come from my neck.
Hi friends!
Girl, we ain't friends.
Today we're going to talk about something super important. What it means to be transgender.
Okay, that's not that important. It's just not.
It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand.
Actually, it's not easy to understand at all because what transgender is keeps changing.
Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes.
I don't really trust you with my eyes closed, but okay.
Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both?
Rather than doing that, why don't we talk about what the world actually sees me to be? Just like we can take a minute and talk about what we see you to be.
It's a man.
Oh, you probably wouldn't think that was a fun little exercise, would you?
Do you have your answer? Great. Now I want you to imagine that everyone keeps telling you that you're something else, even though in your heart, you know who you are. Wouldn't that make you sad inside? People who feel like this are transgender. And if you're not transgender, it's super easy to be friends with someone who is.
No, it's really not at this point. Back in my gay, it was a lot easier to be friends with transgender people because transgender people understood that they were something different. They had something they were going through, and it wasn't the rest of the world's problem. And that was for them to figure out, and then they would navigate the world accordingly. It wasn't like now where I'm supposed to figure out if you're a they, a them, a z, a zer, a hawk.
And I'm a red-tailed hawk. I am in a human body, but my identity is still a hawk.
There's so many ways that people identify now.
I'm a dog,
and
so...
you call yourself a dog.
Woof, yes.
Do you see yourself as an actual dog, right? You said you like to go play fetch.
Woof, yes.
And it all falls under the trans umbrella. No, it's not really easy to be friends with a transgender person at this point. If you're going to claim to educate, the least you can do is stop lying.
Let's take our imaginary friend Theo, for example. One day you notice that Theo starts wearing girl clothes instead of boy clothes.
Tell them next time they're in the bathtub to look down. If it's a hot dog, they're a boy, and if it's not, they're a girl.
And then they tell you that they want to be called Luna instead of Theo.
If your imaginary friend was meant to be a girl, it would just show up as a girl. It's imaginary. And how messed up do you have to be that your imaginary friend is transgender?
This is so exciting for our friend Luna because they finally get to be their true self. And if you accidentally call Luna by their old name, make sure to say a big sorry and that you'll do better next time. As you can see, transgender people are just like you and me.
No, they are just like you, but they're not like me. They're not like you and me. They're like you.
They're our friends.
All right, so that was a video, and sorry to interrupt so much, but it's just, this kind of stuff really does get me worked up, and it's because these people are such a disservice to the community, and the activist will never step out and say, hey, these are the people that we disavow. Instead, they'll disavow people like me. Blair White recently showed up to a gay pride with a camera and a microphone, and draw the bridges, everybody. Everybody was on earpieces.
The security won't stop following me.
Yeah.
Why are you still following me?
They made sure the snipers were in place just in case she said the wrong thing. God forbid anybody should do interviews with people at Pride.
Do not engage with the police, don't engage with
Look how crazy this person is.
And let you guys know what the real community is actually like. And I don't know if everybody here is familiar with Blair White, but she's a very well-known trans creator right here on YouTube, has a really big following. She's right-leaning, she's a Trump supporter, really respectful of biological women. She acknowledges that her biology is that of a male and that she is fully a trans woman. She does not try to put cisgender on the front of real woman. She understands that there are certain spaces that she as a trans woman should not be because that might not be the most comfortable for real women. But then you have people like this person that does not respect anybody in any way. The only thing they're worried about is the way that they feel.
I am a woman and I feel comfortable using the women's room.
And the way that they think the world should respond to them.
But if I didn't feel comfortable, I could use the men's room and no one should bat an eyelash.
But for some reason, this is the person that the community will uphold. This is the person that the community will tell you is what we as LGBT should be supportive of, or in some cases aspire to. So it makes me wonder, what kind of upside down world are we in when you have Blair White being treated as public enemy number one, and then this person is treated as some sort of hero in the LGBTQ community? How does that make sense to anybody? And if you guys want to know the reason that they got so paranoid when Blair White showed up to Gay Pride in Round Rock, which is 15-20 minutes away from downtown Austin, was because at this point, the LGBTQIA plus community is a cult. It might as well be Scientology, the way that the community runs at this point. Because we're all supposed to pretend all of this behavior behavior is normal, and anybody that is at all sensible in the LGBT community is self-hating or a pick-me for the straight community, and that is 100% what the community and the activists want you to think. But the reason specifically that they got so paranoid about Blair doing interviews was because, as was evidenced by the answers that she was getting from the other attendees at the Pride Festival that she went to, we as a community are not a monolith. There are a lot more people that are like me or Blair White or some of the other sensible LGBT creators that you see here on this platform than there are the extreme. That's what the community doesn't want you to know. They want you to believe that we are a monolith. They want you to believe that all of us want your kids to be trans. They want you to believe that all of us think that your kids should be at drag shows. They want you to believe that all of us think that your kids should be at Pride. But the reality is that while many may not be as extreme as maybe being Blair, they are definitely more leaning towards the sensible side than they are towards the outrageous, anything goes, and we should be able to tell you how to raise your children type. And like I said at the beginning, I don't think LGBT people should be trying to teach anybody's children anything about LGBT unless they have children and the children they're teaching are their own. Nobody outside of that. Raise your kids how you want to raise them. That is your kid. You are free to mess them up however you want until Child Protective Services decides it's time to step in. So I would say that if the LGBT community has any interest at all in repairing its relationship, not only with people like me, but with the general public, which is quickly going down the toilet, then I would say, at the very least, stop upholding and reaffirming people like this. That's what the community needs to do if they want to make any other inroads. We are in danger of losing rights because people like this are what we're putting forward as our best foot. Stuff like this is what we all need to step in and say, yeah, that's enough of you. You don't help us out in any way at all. You make us look worse. You make us look like everything people are afraid of. Even the sight of this person would be disconcerting for children. And I don't mean that to be rude. They just don't look like somebody that you would want around your children, and they don't look like somebody that children would react kindly to. So until the community wants to say something about that, and until the community is ready to have that conversation and understand all of us aren't going to go for this, then I don't have any interest in being a part of that community. I don't have any interest in showing my support for that community, because in order to do that, I have to pretend like Blair White has lost her mind and this person is completely sane. Anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As always, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.